So are we live, Ratnesh, on Facebook? Yes, we are. Lovely.
Right, we are live on Facebook and we are live on Instagram and we are ready to misbehave.
Yes. Hi,
Well,
hi, Yash, hi. So there are few who have already joined for the live, and it's a very interesting thing which I'm going to talk about. Almost, I can say this is my favorite subject, behavior, because the biggest struggling area of all the parents, whenever they are sharing anything about their children, most of the time this is something which always comes in the picture, and I feel something you can't easily ignore also. But at the
hmm.
same time, you know the topic itself is so interesting, good behavior and bad behavior. And the moment even I hear these words like bad behavior and good behavior, I have millions of thoughts in my mind which I have been told from my childhood. And uh, I feel that sometimes in my life my bad behaviors have helped me a lot.
Okay,
But
sorry, Vishruti, for your on Instagram, your video is not very clear. Is my video clear for you? Your video is little glitchy. Not bad connection, just like as if resolution is not very good.
just a second.
It's kind of coming in as low resolution video kind of thing.
Is it okay
I
now?
thought earlier when the first time you connected, it was good. Now it is not the same.
So wait, let me join back because it's the same.
Okay. Yeah, I think you joined back. So yeah, so it's very interesting. When we talk about behavior, it's almost what I've sensed is that the parents just want, okay, somehow some talk, something will vanish or make vanish all these so-called inappropriate behaviors from my child, and the child will become a pure, 20, what, how many carats, whatever, 21 carats gold or 24, whatever, I don't know, sorry so much about gold. So yeah, so we all want the pure gold, we don't want any imperfections, right? Uh, so
Requested.
so that's funny. So I since I'm not a pure gold, I'm a total whatever dented piece. I don't think I can talk about pure gold, right? I don't even qualify. So I can only talk about the dents in us, if that is okay, Vishwat.
Ratnesh, I have sent you the request. Yeah.
Sorry.
I have sent you the request if you can accept it
Oh, did
on
you?
Instagram.
Okay.
Yes, I
Yes,
did.
another request from Vishruti on Instagram. Okay. Right.
Now is it okay?
Now your video is much better.
Yeah, so I think Instagram
No,
sometimes
no,
acts
no,
very.
no. It's still gone back to the bad only.
Then I think let's continue with the
Okay.
similar
Yeah,
kind of
we
video. I
can
can see it's
see.
fine.
Yeah. We can see it's Vishruti, but it's just a patchy Vishruti. Okay, go ahead.
It's
Let's
okay.
start. Hmm.
Yeah, so I think that is what we want to talk about, no? This patchy,
Patchy behavior.
dents and yeah, the dents and the patches in our lives, which sometimes we start labeling them as bad behavior, or I don't know, whatever
Good
we want to
behavior.
call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and good behavior. Yeah. So yeah, it's a very interesting topic, I think. And the moment we were discussing about the behaviors, there were millions of thoughts in my mind. One of the very important thing which I was thinking recently, which I was also questioning, that whenever, let's say, the child is not, I mean, let's call it a tantrum, which generally is very popular word amongst parents. So whenever the child is angry or throwing a tantrum, I see a lot of adults laughing, in the surrounding area. And I don't know. I started wondering that, what are we thinking and how the child is feeling, and are we able to connect, or I don't know. So yes, lot of things, lot of beliefs, lot of thoughts are connected with the child's behavior. So let's begin, Ratnesh, and let's first talk about good behavior. I mean, according
No,
to
no,
you,
wait,
what
wait,
is a
wait,
good
wait, wait, wait.
behavior?
No, 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 wait. Let's talk about behavior first before we go into the good or bad. Yeah. So interestingly, when I saw your video is little patchy and I immediately told you that your video is patchy, you realize I can only react to what I can see. Right. So I saw your video wasn't very
Yeah,
clear, and I immediately said your video is not very clear. Right. And then you tried kind of adjusting it, and it is actually better now. So, but you see, that's the only thing that I could see, and whatever I could see is what I responded to. Now, if you really understand behavior, that is the only thing we can see. I can't see your thoughts, can I? I can't
no,
see your emotions, can I?
no,
Right? Can I see your beliefs? Right? Can I see
no.
your attitudes? Can I see your anything, your dreams, your fantasies, your whatever you call it? Right? I cannot see anything. All of these have to depend on a screen called behavior, right? And that is the only thing that we can see. We cannot see everything
Yeah,
else. Everything else we have to guess. I have to guess how Vishruti is feeling. I have to guess how Vishruti is thinking. Oh, sorry, what Vishruti is thinking, or even how Vishruti is thinking.
how
I have
she
to
is
guess.
thinking. Yeah,
I have to guess what are your beliefs. I have to guess how it is your attitude. I may think I'm very smart. I will say, oh, she's sitting like this. She has that attitude, but still a guess. I could be wrong,
yeah,
right? So if you
yeah,
realize
absolutely.
the only one window we have into another person is behavior. Think about it. Do you
Yeah,
have any other window into your son? Any other window? How much we wish we
no.
had a direct connection. If I could read my child's thought, or I could sense the feeling, or I had some weatherometer which can tell where the weather of my son is going to go or my husband is going to go in the next 10 minutes. No, we
Yeah,
don't have that. The only thing we have is behavior. That's the only thing
yeah,
we have. I don't know what it means
yeah,
to you, but it is to me a huge thing when I realize, oh my goodness, that's my only data that I have. I better use it wisely, or rather receive it wisely, right? That's the only data I have.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think when you are saying the only data about somebody else you have, the other human being, whoever is around, whether it's a child or an adult,
Yeah.
I think I'm looking also at it from my angle, that that's the maybe one of the, let's say, then the later different tools will come, but then that's one of the most important tool I also have to share with others, to express to others in my surrounding that my, my needs or my beliefs or anything. And at that time, the moment I started looking at it from that angle, that that's one of the strongest tool I have, my behavior, then I was
Mhm.
like that, how important it is to know really, why am I behaving the way I am behaving, kinds. So I'm saying this in the child's context only, that
Sure, sure.
now when you're saying that the behavior is the major tool that you are understanding me, let's assume that
No,
I'm a child.
only tool, not major tool.
Yeah.
Major means they can be minors and minors can be made majors. No, 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 no. There is no other. You don't have your child's brain spectrogram or whatever neural analysis
Nothing.
or whatever else you want. Nothing. The only
Yeah.
and only one window you have into anybody else is their behavior. Period.
Yeah.
No,
So wouldn't, yeah,
It's important to realize this.
yeah, yeah. So I'm just thinking that would we say the sharing or talking also is one of the behavior? Are we
Obviously,
including that
obviously,
thing as a behavior?
obviously,
Yeah,
obviously, obviously.
yeah.
When
Then
you
yeah, yeah, yeah.
speak, that's a
Communicating.
behavior. And how you speak is also a behavior. I mean, those are all components of actions or behavior, right? You can
Correct.
choose to stay quiet. You can choose to run away. So all of those are behaviors.
Correct. Yeah. So I think that's the only way that either we are able to communicate whatever our things are to others, and also that's the only way that we are able to connect with our children also. Should I put it
Yeah.
like that? Should I understand it like that?
Or
That's the
receive
only
them.
way.
I would say that's the
Yeah,
only way we
receive
can
them. Yeah.
receive them, right? That's the only data available. There is no other
Yeah.
data available,
Yeah.
right? Even
Yeah.
when we
Yeah.
say, "Tell me what do you want to eat," and let's say Vishruti says samosa, like that. Now that's the only data. How do I know Vishruti was not thinking about, also thinking about gulab jamun, but she said only samosa. For whatever
Samosa.
reason, she felt कि नहीं ये बंदा गुलाब मीठा नहीं खिलाएगा, spicy खिलाएगा. So whatever the case may be, right? I have to depend only on your behavior, which is why I'm saying again that we need to receive it wisely, because that's the
Yeah.
only and only whatever way that I can receive anybody else.
Yeah. So true. Jesus. So lot of people, particularly parents, who join with the thought of good behavior and bad behavior with about like of their children. I think we are just beginning with the behavior, and
Hmm.
what Ratnesh is saying, that that's the only tool we have. I mean, so in a way, if I understand it, if I could understand it well, Ratnesh, then maybe if you are saying that I can receive it well, means if I can understand or listen to the whatever the behavior, what the behavior is trying to tell me, or what the child is trying to convey through the behavior, maybe I have a bridge or a connection with the child, if
Yeah,
I'm understanding it
you've
correct.
gone very fast. You're on a fast train
Sorry,
today. In the
sorry.
sense, it's like three, four things in the line. I'm not even going there. Connection is like way beyond. I'm not even saying, um, uh, you know. Yeah, I like the first thought that because that is the only window available as far as my child goes, or for that matter anybody, but we'll stick to our discussions to our child, since that's the only tangible data that I have about about my child. I need to i need to consider that window in a more sacred space rather than in a more good bad space, right? And receive it, as you very rightly said, to understand rather
Yeah.
than to do everything else we do with it, to analyze, to judge, to
To
reject, to
to
select, to
change.
change, to monitor, to all of those things. All of those things are fine. I'm not against them, but I'm just saying realize that in that whole whatever busyness to do all of those things, we miss out the most important thing, which you have already said, is to understand that behavior.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
any behavior that the child is doing is, if I say, that's the only window I have. Now let me receive it, or if you're saying let me understand it. I'm not yet there how to make connection. Maybe that we will take maybe next week or next to next week. I don't know when. We will see when how we reach there. I don't know. I've not
Yeah.
thought anything. I've just come blank here, Vishruti. So we'll take it how it goes in this particular river of behavior as we are flowing,
Flowing. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I'm saying go slow, because we hurry into making the river go in the way we want it to, which is much down the stream, right? But
Yeah.
first let's just receive. This is the only window of information, this is the only river of information or data or whatever
Yeah.
that is coming to us.
And I think the moment you are saying that this is the only window, I
Hmm.
think now each behavior, I see it as such an important, communication kinds. I'm seeing that every behavior, if I am able to listen to it, then it is conveying so many things. So if we just understand it as it's trying to convey, that's one of the way of expression, or one of the way of expressing the needs, or whatever their beliefs or needs or talks or anything. But I think it this clearly gives me a very strong um, sense of what, holding it, like holding this
Hmm.
behavior in my hand, and then
It's
understanding
like
it, or
it's like
then
it's like in it's like कोई प्रसाद देता है, so you take it like this.
मतलब इसको संभाल के रखो.
Yeah, exactly. This is
This
the
is
only
this is
way.
going to tell you so many things. Oh my God! I mean, and now when you
Yeah.
are saying this, I can also think and remember so many incidences when through that behavior, maybe my son or anybody tried to convey so much, and now I'm
But
seeing
I
that
don't
as
want
a
to still,
strongest
I
tool.
don't want to go soon to
Go
what is the
ahead, yeah.
behavior trying to convey. You've already gone ahead,
Let's,
right? Let's forget
yeah.
what it. See, the moment you start thinking, what is this behavior trying to convey? Now you are trying to analyze the behavior. You've already gone one step ahead. Vishwati, wait. Let the river flow slowly,
Okay,
right?
I'm waiting.
Calm river. Right? So the realization that it is the only window that we have, right? And if you put this only word on the other side, okay, what does that mean? What does it mean? What is this behavior, right? uh, any behavior that somebody does, I do or you do, any behavior that we do, what is that meaning? What is the meaning of that behavior? uh, to me, very simply, that behavior is the one that you have chosen out of whatever options were available to you in your mind. When I say options available to you, not as in worldly options, but available to you in your mind, right? You can only choose from the options that you have in your mind, right? Uh, so the behavior is nothing but one of the options that you chose out of the options available to you.
Chose.
Right? So it is your choosing that is
Yeah,
available to
yeah,
me. I
yeah.
don't know what else you thought. Right? You might have thought of three things, of 10 things. As I was giving the example, suppose I ask you, what would you like to have as an evening snack? And let's say you say samosa. Now, all I know is that, okay, out of all the options that you thought, right, whether they are available with me or not, that is immaterial. Whether they are there on the table, that is immaterial. But you chose this particular option, which was out of the three, four, five, or maybe you only one came to your mind. So what? Okay, if one came to your mind, that's the one that you chose, or whatever numbers that came to your mind. So let us say you say something and I slap you. Yeah. Now, what does this mean? What is this behavior when I'm receiving it? What it means is that this is what you chose out of the options you could think of at that moment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so it is just a
yeah.
choice.
And I think, yeah, and that also, I mean, gives some light on the fact that we also have other choices available. So yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
just adding it
maybe,
to there.
maybe, yeah,
I'm not
maybe they
going
are
there.
there, maybe they are not, or maybe those choices could be whatever your choices, which I wasn't even thinking. Maybe I don't even know those choices. Yeah.
Yeah,
So your
yeah,
choices is different. We are not yet talking about your choices. My choices were whatever A, B, C. Out of that, I chose B, and I did that. Obviously, all of that happened in a split second, or it took a lot of time. Sometimes I brood for days together and then choose. Sometimes it just happens in an instant. But any which way, that is the choice which I at that moment thought is the best choice.
yeah.
So let's take an example. Have you got angry on your son ever? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I know that sounds funny. ये क्या बात हुई
No, you
बोलने की?
almost thought कि मतलब I have come from Himalaya and
Yeah, Himalaya or
yeah,
Mars or whatever, Venus or whatever. So the point is, when we got angry at that time, when we when I say got angry, as in the angry behavior, I'm not talking about the feeling right now. Talking about the behavior. Maybe I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
shouted, maybe I shut up, maybe I snatched something, whatever I did. Okay, that was at that moment the most beautiful choice that I thought I had. I had three and I chose, this is the most amazing choice, the best, let's say. So out of the three options, I chose the best option, isn't it? Will you ever choose the second best option?
No.
Think about it. Your mind thought of three options. Okay, option one, two, three, and you chose A, B, C, and you chose B because you thought B is the best. Right? If you somehow thought that A
Yeah,
is better than B, then wouldn't you have chosen A in any case? Yeah. So I'm trying to make it
absolutely.
very logical, but the thought is that any one of us, including when you are shouting, or the child who is shouting back, or whoever is doing whatever they want to do, they are thinking this is the best option right now.
Choice.
Yeah, best choice
Yeah,
right now. Now, it could be that I only thought of one and hence that is the best by default, or I thought of few and I thought that this is the best. And as I said, sometimes it happens so fast we don't even realize them as choices. Right? But
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you can relate to that. Oh, it's like in that few microseconds I've done it, right? Because I thought that's the best
yeah,
choice. Even in terms of timing, even in terms of how soon should I do it, that was also a choice, right? I can do it. I can show my anger now. Should I wait 5 minutes? Should I, you know? So, so
yeah,
I'll give you an example. Yesterday there were two girls here, and they were doing something, and it was that whole of whatever they was doing was little churning inside me. But for some reason, I don't know what reason, I kept on delaying responding to it. I let it just churn inside me. And it was not a pleasant churning. It was an unpleasant churning inside me. But I let it churn so much that 24 hours passed. And by the 24 hours passed, the churning had gone. Right? Where, I don't know. There was no more churning inside me. So that choice of timing here, okay, I thought of so many things I can say to them, do to them, tell them, write to them, show to them, so many things. I even thought, oh, should I talk to their mom, or should I talk to their dad, or should I talk to Aditi, or to Leela, or this person? So I thought of so many options. If you would have documented, it would have taken some 3-4 pages. But finally, the only choice I kept on doing was kept on procrastinating, doing anything about it, at least from an outside. So it was going on inside me, and then it just lost its own way. It's like a river which has lost its direction. It's flown to nowhere, and that's it. Now, I'm not saying whether what I did was right or wrong. It's not a question of right and wrong, and that's what I'm trying to tell. That when we realize it's the best choice, in the sense, in my mind, that was the best choice. How can best choice be right or wrong? Best is best.
so I think when you are saying this, I told you uh, one thing which I'm remembering is that, and I feel, and I wrote it also somewhere, that I think children, they are very clear about, they don't, I think at least for Vedat, he doesn't put things like this is right and this is wrong, this is good or this is bad. So I told you
Yeah.
that night when I literally shouted on him, he right away said that,
Mm,
I don't want to listen to you, Mama. He told his father also that, you don't have to listen to her, just ignore her and all that. And he was so comfortable with the kind of choice he made. And
mm,
I was
mm,
so uncomfortable that why is he doing this, And he's
mm,
not even
mm,
realizing
mm,
that I'm not liking it, I'm feeling hurt and whatever. And
mm,
next day morning, the same guy, he's coming to me and saying, Mama, now you can tell me things. Now I'm ready to listen to you. And I'm
mm,
like,
mm,
I think that was just a different time, and this is just a different moment. I mean, the moments are different.
mm,
But then, I mean, when you are saying this, that you make this choice of behavior, then I don't know, somehow I just felt like for me it was how he's making those choices with so much clarity. Let's say if I'm angry or whatever he's feeling at that point of time, he's very clearly choosing to listen to himself kinds, and and convey that to me in this behavior, that I'm not listening you kinds, because he was not happy, or he was whatever, he didn't want to listen to me genuinely, or he had his own reasons. But then, and the next day he's saying that now I'm okay, now I'm ready to listen to you, so he's listening me. And the moment you are saying, this 24 hours, that but it's not about being right or wrong. It's just about that the choice you made at that point of time to behave in a certain way. Let's say you staying silent, also a kind
Yes,
of
it's a
behavior.
behavior.
I'm
Not
saying
kind
it
of,
as
it
a
is
kind
a
of
behavior. Yes,
yeah.
yes, absolutely.
It is a behavior. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So I think now I'm able to see things from the choice angle, that
Hmm.
whether I really want to
Best
respond to
choice
what my
angle.
child
Best
is
choice angle. It is not just a choice, it's the
saying.
best choice. I want to
It's the best.
little spend on this. Why is it the best choice? Because I think this is important. Because okay, before I go to I'll come to the analogy in just a minute. But if you think uh, there cannot be a second best choice, because I would have then taken that. I will always take the
Hmm.
best choice. You can argue as the second person that that choice was horrible, right? My let's say
Hmm.
somebody is not listening to me and I slap him. Okay, now you may call it a bad choice, but for me at
Hmm.
that moment among the choices was the best choice, which is why I took it. Now the moment we
Yeah.
realize that every person is operating about the best choice in their mind at that moment, now the analogy, and then the receiving is very different, because it's like Vishruti always wearing her best clothes every time, right? So if anybody is wearing their best clothes every time, then how can it be good or bad? It is the best. Forget good bad, वो सब छोड़ दिया, उसके ऊपर है सब कुछ. It's the best at that moment. That does not mean that next time also it has to be this best only, right? But then
Yeah.
the point is not what we will do the next time. The point is, how are we received at this time? Am I receiving you as somebody who is operating out of the best choices, or am I operating out of something else? My analysis of, is this best good enough according to me, according to society, according to the rules laid out, and blah 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 blah, all of those things. Yeah, so we can always judge everybody, but finally the point is that yes, you are operating from the best choice available to you at that moment.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the moment I think like that this is the best choice, there is a lot of acceptance of whatever the kind of behavior it
Absolutely.
is. So
Absolutely.
then, yeah, then maybe I'm not into why he's behaving like that. The simple answer is that he's choosing the best choice he has available. So then,
Where is the question of why? I mean, why are you wearing your best dress? Arey, that's the best dress. Yeah,
yeah.
abhi aur kya chahiye? Or what else you want? Right? So
And that
exactly.
also,
Yeah, yeah. Go
yeah,
ahead. Go ahead.
sorry. So I was just thinking, and that also, the moment I start believing that this is the best choice that the person is making, uh, that also gives me a lot of comfort about, and that also makes me realize that whether I am comfortable with this behavior or no, or whether for me this is the best choice or no, is secondary. First, I just
Yes,
have to
yes.
believe that the other person is operating out of the best choice.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Believe or
yeah,
realize or know, or it's a fact in a way,
and
right?
yeah, it's a fact in a way.
That's the person himself. The next moment may say that was a horrible choice, right? But
Yeah,
the
so
moment
then the
has
guilt
changed,
will come in
the
the picture.
choices are changed.
Yeah,
Now there's a different choice, and there's a new behavior and a new situation. So that's okay. We are all. That's why I like this flowing river analogy. Right? We're just flowing, right? So it is that thing is over. That part is over, right? Now the next
yeah,
moment I can be guilty, or I can be happy that I chose this behavior or whatever. But the point is, at that moment, because that looked like the best one, I said that. And as you very rightly pointed out, that immediately leads to the acceptance, right?
yeah,
Otherwise what happens is, a lot of people think that understanding means analysis, right? Okay, for me to understand this subject, how we were taught subjects in school, you have to analyze the concept and all that. But within people, if you get into analyze, chances are you will end up into judgment, because analysis shows good, bad, up, down,
Yeah.
cause, effect, and comparison, and all of these are the ingredients of analysis.
True.
But acceptance doesn't do that, right? Acceptance only
Yeah.
says, okay, she's behaving out of her best choice. That's it. There's the acceptance. So I'm able to receive you as you are at this moment,
Yeah.
right? And
This is so
look
profound.
what that does. Look what that does. Okay, so I receive you with acceptance, and that gives me the first step of understanding. Okay, so this is how you are at this moment,
Yeah.
and you need not be the same, or you could be repeating it. That's a different thing. But this is how you are at this moment. Now I'm able to kind of receive you, to get you to whatever, understand you, right? And then out of this understanding, I can see what else do I want to do about it. What next do I want to do? In most cases, I may not even need to do anything
Anything.
in many cases, or I may respond, I may acknowledge. That's again my best choice, right? How I want to respond. But I'm not going down the analysis line. So I'm not when you said let's do on good behavior, bad behavior, I said, yeah, that's nice, because we can spend half an hour on the topic of good behavior, bad behavior, without talking about good behavior. Because I'm in a way trying to say, what if we consider things in a way where we say there is no good behavior, bad behavior, there is
Yeah.
only behavior,
Behavior.
or rather only best behavior, or the
Best
best choice,
behavior.
or the best choice.
Yeah. God.
And then when
And
I'm
I
able to
know,
receive and listen, not just verbally listen, but listen with my eyes and listen with my being,
yeah,
okay, then your choices have also changed. Automatically, I've created a space for you, right? Now you
yeah,
can think of more choices, because now there is a space. If I jump on that behavior, okay, then it's like the attention goes there. Now then the whole focus is not on understanding, but is on the behavior itself.
yeah. What am I doing rather than, you know, what am I doing and why am I doing kinds, rather than understanding what is there behind this behavior or whatever I'm trying to convey through my behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody uh, who read good behavior and bad behavior, if I can, I can just sum this up, and though I have millions of thoughts in my mind right now, because I'm sure that a lot of people ask this question, and I also come across, then, what about the people who are being so angry and shouting or hitting or slapping, and is that behavior acceptable or no? I think I think all of those things are, if we can just put it aside and consider the fact what Ratnesh has just said, that everybody is making the best choice available kinds in whatever state they are. And I think, yeah, I mean, and I mean, once maybe we understand this fact of best choice, then maybe somewhere we can understand the why or the reasons or everything. That, I think, that comes really secondary or thirdly or fourthly, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I would say, why do we need to do that? Why do we need to go there? We can just receive people as they are, and then take it from there. And as I said, I would rather say I've created a space. Now the other person can explore that space in many different ways. Yeah. uh,
yeah,
Yeah, meaning, see, finally, if you are making a choice, right, and you are doing something out of that, whatever is coming to you, and you have kind of done that, uh, Now the moment I just receive you, I don't need to meaning I'm thinking of it that that is the best behavior or
choice.
whatever,
Yeah.
best choice that you have. uh, Now I'm with that space, either you can think about, let's say, maybe more choices, or you can just flow ahead wherever you, whatever, whichever direction you wanted to flow, or you can offer me more more insight into, so your next behavior can be a next beautiful data point. So I'm not even in a hurry to understand it, sorry, to analyze it, or I'm just receiving more data. Okay, Anido, it's like give me more kind of thing. So if I'm waiting for that, okay, then I'm giving you that space so that you can give me more information. And the more information hopefully I will have, the more unless I get caught up in analyzing it, but if I just have more information, then I can understand you better or more.
Yeah. I think this reminds me of that audio which you shared. I don't remember in which session, but there was a very young 1.5, 2 year old or 2.5 year old child whose mother was yet to pick him up, and there was a small conversation you and him you just recorded in the audio format, in which the child is crying really hard, and you are just asking then what would you like to do, and the child is sad because the child had peed, I think, in the pant or
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
and the
wet
pant was,
pants. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yes.
wet pants, yeah. And
And not only he had removed it, so he was
yeah, he
walking around
removed it.
naked, and he was not
Yeah.
comfortable with that also.
He was, yeah, yeah, yeah. And the moment you start asking him, collecting more data from him, that, what would you like to do with the pant now? How are you more comfortable? Then the child chose that I want to go up on the terrace, and, sukhana hai wahan pe, and so I think the moment it was maybe the child also was very, very clueless, or let's say confused, and the moment you started collecting more data for yourself, the child also started getting clarity for himself. And then somewhere in the audio, I remember that the child got little comfortable because the child got a little more aware of his needs and whatever, I mean, that situation. So, I mean, when you are saying this as a collection of data, then I'm thinking it as that. Yeah, I think it's like a golden opportunity we have every time when we are looking at any behavior. That yes, this is the time to collect the data, and yeah,
Yeah. So yeah. So see, the focus goes when, if the child is crying, most of us tend to think, okay, I need to pacify the child, which is
calm.
like,
Yeah, yeah,
so somewhere we are assuming that the child's choice of crying, in this case the child came crying to me, so the child's choice of this behavior of crying is not acceptable, right?
it's
Okay.
not yeah,
And the child state, hence we need to change the child state. We need to do a lot of things right now. Suddenly we get very active, right? Our mind is running
yeah,
ahead with lots of thoughts and plans and proposals and ideas, and we want to implement all of them. To, you play with this, you do this, I will call mama, I will do this. We can come up with, we are
yeah,
super intelligent people, we come up with some 100 solutions. But the child is
yeah,
the child is chosen already, if you think about. But if I told you I have the best solution, then will you come tell me more
yeah.
solutions? Will you tell me
No,
more solutions?
yes,
Right. So now think about it. I'm crying, and you think about it. Oh, he already has the best option, which he has chosen, which is to cry in this particular case. So, which is fine. If I've already chosen that, and which is, which is what kind of taking care or whatever, however it is, however I'm thinking about it. So
yeah,
some people will object to it. Okay, what if somebody is breaking something? Okay, so if you want to protect whatever else is getting harmed, let's say child is hitting himself, or the child is hitting you, or the child is hurting somebody else, not necessarily physically, let's say emotionally. You want to stop that from it affecting other things. right? If I'm throwing a stone at a window and a glass window, and you want me to not throw that, okay, you can stop me, no problem. I'm not trying to say don't save the glass. I'm saying right, but realize that's still my best choice at this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, in which case you realize, see, this best behavior leads to one more interesting. So I'm just going there, and maybe then we can pause. Is that uh, because that is my kind of best choice, and you don't want me to break the glass, so you can stop the behavior. Uh, but realize that you cannot stop me unless obviously you tie my hands and mouths and mind and everything, heart and something. You cannot stop me from making my next choice and the next choice and the next choice. Right? The
Yeah.
only person who can really, really, really change
Is
anything is me, because that is my next choice. If I change my next choice, then that's a change. If I don't change my next choice, then as far as you are concerned, there is no change. But I am the only one who can do that. So
yeah.
not only I am the best, I'm the one with the best option, I'm the one with the best control.
Yeah.
Right? You are not in
Yeah.
control. You can be controlled. Like a mother called me today and said that, I don't want to allow my child to watch TV whole day. I said, oh, so you are allowing. So you are in control of your son, right? That means if it goes more than this, you lock the TV or you lock your son. What do you do? Tell me, how do you allow, disallow? Right? And even if you do lock your son inside, whole time he may still keep imagining the cartoon show. Then what? Where did your allowing go? Can you still disallow that? Can you go in his mind and say, I wouldn't allow any thoughts about Tom and Jerry or whatever, Chota Bheem, whatever. Sorry, I don't know too many cartoon shows. My point is
Yeah. Yeah.
that it is not just the child or anybody else who has the best behavior. It is also the child is the only one who can, if at all, change the behavior when he or she thinks that another behavior is a better choice.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think if we can just understand this fundamental thing, that it is always in the child's control. In fact, it's always in the individual control. Let's call it
Yeah,
like that. Then I think there are a lot of things which get simplified, fundamentally, I feel. So
absolutely.
so
A lot of
so
things.
I so I think, yeah, I want to stay with this feeling. I mean, what I've just felt today, that everybody is operating out of their best choice available, and they are choosing the best behavior available, or in their understanding. And
Yeah.
they are not choosing the second best, they are always choosing the best one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, if we just pause there, the moment, let's just sink this in, and for me at least, and
Mhm.
then maybe we can move a little ahead and talk about something else, the very fancy words connection and all I said in the beginning. But I still want to stay with this belief that everybody is choosing their behavior, the best behavior they feel
Yeah,
at that point of time. Again, I'm attaching it with the moment only.
that's very important. Yeah, because the next moment can
Yeah,
be very
that's very
different.
important. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Flowing river, we can't forget. Yeah.
Yes, yes, we are all flowing.
Yeah. So I think for a lot of people, if you feel that if you have any questions, I'm sure you would be having millions of questions, your doubts. So please share it, on Aarohi's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter also, aarohilife.org. And once you visit the website aarohilife.org, you will see already, Jagriti's lot of detail. Now, what is Jagriti, and what we are discussing right now, me and Ratnesh, is maybe only a pinch of salt from the whole menu. And I think Jagriti is the whole वो बगीचा या all the vegetables or all the cuisines of on the menu card kinds. So I personally, as a parent, would request all the parents to Himanshu Parmar add me. I don't know.
I
I
think
We don't know
some
really
people
what.
want to. I think some people are sending to be added into the video. So just a
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah,
It's nice to see that you want to become on the call, but this particular call, it's just two of us. So sorry for that. You
yeah,
can
yeah,
obviously share a comment and all that, and if you want to interact more intensely, I think that's what Vishruti is talking about. Jagriti is a kind
yeah.
of opening up program that we do, and otherwise you can always connect with us one to one. But this particular we
Yes,
talk, yeah, we're not really adding people on videos, so apologies for that.
yeah.
That's how we have.
So I think I know Himanshu, but I think we can connect little later. Right now, this something I'm sharing very very important. That is Jagriti. So whatever we have discussed right now about the child behavior, about our behavior, I'm sure there are a lot of discussion happen even on the parents' behavior. Yes. So Jagriti, I think, is something you should definitely explore. Even though you just read more about it, I'm sure you will get wonderful things. At least as a feeling, you will get a lot of
Yeah,
beautiful things.
just to
So
point
please,
out, we
please use
started.
it.
Yeah, just to point out, we
Yes.
started a
Uh-huh.
new batch of Jagriti is an online program for parents and people who work with children, teachers, educators, whoever. So we started this batch, which is the 54th batch in the last 18 years. So we started that on Friday. But we have already done two sessions, but we can still take in people in the current batch only till tomorrow. And once the third session happens, then we close. So if anybody still wants to join, they can just check the website.
Yes. Yes. So I am at least in a lot of overwhelming feeling right now. So I would like to stay with those feelings only. Um, and would like to take this little ahead because we have paused today on the behavior, and from just understanding the simple fact that behavior is the only available tool we have to convey what we are feeling and to understand also what the child or anybody else around is feeling, or whatever. I mean, that's the only available tool we have.
Yeah,
So, and we all are making the best choices available at that particular moment whenever we are choosing any kind of behavior. And this includes children too. So I'm just summing this up in two lines. I hope
perfect.
that I've covered, at least reached. And I think in the next we talk, we'll begin exactly from here. That let's say if
Yeah,
the next or the child has made the best choice of behaving in a manner, then what? Then we'll walk little ahead. We'll go little slow.
sure.
Thank
And I
you.
hope
Thank you
we
so much,
will,
Ratnesh.
instead of, yeah, so I'm just reminding people, instead of thinking of a behavior as a good behavior or a bad behavior, maybe we'll start talking about them as the best behavior or the best choice at that moment. That and see what this change of perspective, what that does to you when you look at every behavior not as good or bad, but as the best at that moment.
Yes, I
Yep.
completely
Okay.
agree. Yeah.
Thank you, Vishruti.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ratnesh. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, even on the Facebook, all of you.